Alright, so in the previous videos we came in and put in our curtain wall, and now we're going to put in a ramp that goes down from level 2 down to level 1. So to do that, I'm going to close my hidden windows here while I'm in 3D view, and I'm going to go to level 1, and I'm going to window tile, maybe zoom in. Let's window tile so we can see our 3D view at the same time we can see our level 1 view. And I'm going to spin around in my 3D view here, and I'm going to hide by typing VH the scope boxes. And I'm going to turn on my section box and select it and just pull it in so I can kind of see what I'm creating with the ramp at the same time that I'm creating it. Okay, so just a quick view. This, just so you know, this is an abbreviated model, so we don't have a floor down there, but it'll be fine. So I think I'll make this 3D view a little smaller, zoom in on that part, and pull this guy out a little bigger. Alright, so if I go to my level 1, I have my image in the background, and I can see where that ramp goes. And so I'm just going to place this ramp in, estimating where it goes right now, and then we'll adjust it in level 2 once we get it in. So I'll just zoom in, and I'm going to come in, and I'm going to go to Architecture and Ramp. And it's going to give me a bunch of options, one of which is the base level, which is level 1. One is the top level, which is level 2, and so that's what we want. That's confirmed. The width is going to be 914.4, which is fine for right now. That's actually 3 feet translated into metric. And the other thing I want to show you is if we go to Edit Type on the ramp, down here under Dimensions, the maximum incline length. So that's the maximum distance that it will travel before it will make you make a landing, and that's based on ADA requirements. And then the max slope is typically set to 12, which is also ADA, but this ramp is steeper. So we're going to reset that to 8, right? So, so I have reset that to 8, so it will create the ramp that we need. So I'm just going to click OK there. Now to start the ramp, you just come in and left click at the bottom of the ramp. So I'm just going to left click here, and I'm going to start drawing. And it's going to draw from the center, and I'm just going to guess where this landing is and left click close to where that landing is. And then what you want to do for the landings, you just want to skip it. So don't draw anything, just skip it, and then left click at the beginning of the next, and then left click there, and then come down here, and I'm going to left click, and you can see the extension. It wants to line up with the other one, so I'll left click, and then I'll draw until it hits the extension of the next one, and then skip the landing. And make sure you line up this with the center of that one and get the extension for the other one right there. And then it's actually going to end a little early, which is fine, so just left click. And so now you can see it's created that ramp over here in sketch mode. And I'm just going to hit the big green check, and it puts that ramp in, right? So it goes right up to there. So the next thing I want to do is I want to go to my level 2 and actually adjust it a little bit, okay? So if I go to my level 2, I'm just going to pull this over here on top of my level 1. I can come in, and if I pick that ramp, right, I can edit that sketch. And it's going to give me the edges of that ramp. And so if I pick the edges of it, it's oftentimes going to give me a distance, you know, from something, in this case a grid line, to that line. And I'm going to adjust this so it's close and even with that line right there. So I can either just drag it, right, to where it's close, and then say, oh, maybe it's 1,000, right, and enter, and that looks pretty close. And then I'm going to come over and adjust this one to 1,000, right? Oops, that was 100. We want 1,000. Oops. Let's Control Z out of that because somehow I have managed to enter the wrong distance multiple times. So let's type in 1, 1, 2, 3, enter. Okay, so now that's offset exactly the same. You can come over here, and this wants to be, moved over to here, but maybe, let me Control Z that. What I would do is I would see if I could pick this guy and pull it over to there so I can get that distance, and then move this where it's close, 1585. It should really actually want to snap to that edge, so I think that that's good. We'll leave it right there. And then over here we want these lines to be snapped to that edge, so I'm going to pick that and kind of pull it until it snaps. And then do the same thing for this one. Just pull it until it snaps to that edge. Now we want to do a similar thing to the center here. So if I pick this guy, it's giving me the distance from the center of the ramp, but I don't really want that. I want the distance to the grid line because that's a static piece. So I'm just going to pick this and pull it to that grid line. And let's just give it, how about 2100, right? And then I'll do the same thing for this one. So I should be able to come in and let's see if I pull this guy out to that grid line, right? This one should be 2100 as well. So now we've got that kind of evened up a little bit. That's kind of close. Maybe like 2000. Right, and then do the same thing for this one. We'll have to readjust. Right, and so now we've kind of got that whole thing worked out. And it's been adjusting it over there, and if I hit the big green check, boom, we're done. So let's take a look at a section. So I've got a section right here that I'm just going to move. Well, let's look at this one, I guess. We'll double click right there and it'll open that section, and you can see it's, we're a little short, so we need to go in and adjust that. But we'll do that in the next video. So you can go in and double check how all this stuff is kind of working. All right.